Hey there, I'm Elisabeth Kate, and this is my very first yoga video I am making on this channel. If you do watch it, please, I would love to hear your feedback so that I can improve for further videos and what you liked or disliked about this flow. So we're going to get started in a seated position, right hand over the left hand in the lap, and close down the eyes. Just focusing on the breath here, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and out. Trying to quiet down the mind, just focusing on the breath, and if any thoughts do pop up, allowing them to pass just as quickly as they came. Maybe setting an intention here for this class to bring calm, to find calm, so that we can bring it with us for the rest of the day. We're going to begin by lifting the arms up above the head, palms touch, and down to heart center. Inhale again, arms come up to touch, and we're going to lean over. Right arm comes down to the mat, left arm reaches over. Getting a nice side body stretch here, really breathing into those left ribs. Next inhale, you're going to come up, palms touch. Now twist to the left and bring your right hand to your left knee. Your left hand is placed behind you, gazing backwards over the left shoulder. Getting a nice twist here in the back. Lifting arms up to touch. This time left hand comes down to the mat. Your forearm can lean onto the mat if that is comfortable. Right arm stretches over, breathing space into the right ribs. One more time, palms come up to touch. This time we twist to the right. Left hand comes to your right knee and right hand to the back of the mat, gazing backwards, breathing here. Together we'll inhale, bring our arms up, and allow the arms to fall down into cactus position, opening the chest up wide. Coming into some seated cats and cows, we're going to lean forward and let the palms touch, and back out into a cactus position. Just warming up the spine here. Really moving with your breath. So inhaling as we open our arms to cactus, and exhale as we come into a closed position, really arching through that upper back. We're going to allow the hands to come down here and make a fist behind our back, pulling them downwards towards the ground, lifting up our heart space, and folding over as you exhale. Arms come up above your head, and your forehead can rest on the mat if it is comfortable here, getting a nice stretch through the shoulders and the spine. As you come up from this position, we're going to make our way to the top of the mat, to Tadasana, mountain pose. Just give yourself a little neck roll, foot roll here, making sure you're ready. Together we'll breathe in, palms come up to touch above the head, and breathe out, hands to heart center. Another breath in, hands touch above the head, and together we'll forward fold. Knees can be slightly bent here. Breathe in for a halfway lift, flat back, and exhale, step it back to plank pose. Just going to hold here for 2 seconds before we lower our knees into tabletop position. Making sure that our joints are stacked in tabletop, so hips above knees and shoulders above wrists. We're slowly just going to move through some cats and cows here. Again, really warming up the spine. So as you inhale, lifting the head up, gazing forward, stomach drops, and as you exhale, lifting the spine, really arching through it. You can start to find any other intuitive movements here that feel good for you, rocking side to side or back and forward with zero judgment, just whatever your body is asking for to really warm yourself up. Slowly we'll find stillness in tabletop and flip our palms so that our wrists are facing the front of the mat and palms face our knees, just giving them a really slight stretch through the back of our wrists. So you can lean forward onto them and backwards to your knees. This time we'll turn our palms to the side, again giving them a nice stretch. You can rock side to side here, or even press down into a bit of a push-up position or a chaturanga, just to, again, get a stretch through those wrists. Our last stretch here is to bring our palms face up, fingers point towards knees, and we'll again move very gently forward and backwards. Once your wrists feel warm, we're going to push it back into a child's pose. So toes touch, knees can be wide or together, just resting the forehead on the ground, arms out in front of you. We're going to come into a thread the needle pose here, where we lift our right arm and slide it underneath our left, getting a nice stretch through the right shoulder. If this is enough for you, you can stay here, or as I like to do, lift your left hand up onto your fingertips and walk it to the far right side of your mat. When you're ready, palms come down, we swap arms, so we're getting a nice stretch through the left shoulder blade. Right arm can come to the fingertips and walk open. Again, just focusing on the breath here. When you're ready, you can come back into a normal child's pose just for a second before we lift our hips up just into tabletop position once more. From here we're going to extend our right leg to the back, keeping the toes on the floor, rocking back and forward, just really warming up the ankles. And when you're ready, lifting that foot off the ground and giving your ankle a few circles in both directions. Embracing all the pops and cracks here. Now finding your balance through your right arm, we're going to lift the left arm out and pull it in to touch your elbow to your knee. As you inhale, arms come out, exhale, elbow to knee. On our last stretch out here, we're going to find half bow pose by bringing the left hand to the inside of the right leg, just kicking it up into the hand and holding here for a second. Should feel a stretch through your quads. Lowering that foot back down, this time extending the left leg out behind you, just walking through the left ankle and giving it a little twist up in the air, both directions, to warm it up. When you're ready, you're going to find balance through your left arm and bring your right arm in front of you. As you exhale, bring your elbow to knee, and inhale, finding a straight line all the way from your right hand to your left foot. Now, I actually forgot to do my half bow pose on this side, so feel free to come into that now while I walk out my leg. When you're ready, we're going to come back into tabletop position here, shift the hips backwards and lift them up to downward facing dog. This is our first downward dog of the day, so really walking through those feet, pressing one foot fully flat to the ground if you can, and bending through the other knee. Alternating legs and moving with your breath. Strong through your palms, and your hips are lifted. Finding stillness in your down dog, bending through your knees as you lift up high through the toes. You can step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhaling for a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, knees are bent. Inhale, root to rise, arms come and meet above the head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, hands meet above the head. You can take a back bend here before you exhale in to a forward fold. Halfway lift and exhale, step it back to plank position. We're going to rock over forward onto our wrists here and coming through chaturanga, lift ourselves up into upward facing dog or baby cobra before pressing ourselves back into downward dog. Finding stability through this downward dog, through your left leg and your arms, we're going to lift up the right leg into three-legged dog. As you inhale, lift it straight to the air, and as you exhale, we're slowly going to lower the leg down to the side of us. Inhale again, leg comes back up into three-legged dog before it bends forward into a low lunge, keeping your palms on the floor, just finding stability here. Gaze is forward and your heart is open. Together we'll inhale in this position before pressing back into half splits, folding over the front leg. As you inhale, finding your low lunge again, heart is open, and exhale back into half splits, just moving with your breath here, finding momentum and really stretching out the front hamstring. Together we'll come into a lizard pose by walking the front foot to the side, bringing your left and right hand inside the foot. If you'd like a deeper stretch here, feel free to bring your right hand to your right knee and just pushing it so that your ankle rocks to the side. When you're ready, foot walks back in to low lunge. We're going to lift up into our three-legged dog. Come through a one-legged chaturanga into upward facing dog, and exhale, downward dog. Again, finding stability, we're going to take this on the other side. So left leg comes up into three-legged dog as we inhale, and as we exhale, the left leg drops down to the side, very controlled. Allow it to tap onto the floor before it comes back up and into a low lunge. Finding our ground here, heart is open, gaze is forward. We're going to inhale in our low lunge before we exhale, pushing back into a half splits. Inhale, low lunge, and exhale into half splits. Really making sure to keep the hips nice and aligned here. So whichever leg is at the back of your mat, that hip should be pushing forward while the other one is pushing back. Going to come back into a low lunge here and walk that foot out to the outside of your hands into lizard pose. If you'd like a deeper stretch, again you can lift your left hand to your left knee, slightly rocking onto the outside of your left ankle and just pushing it back. When you're ready, walking that front foot back into low lunge and pushing up through the back foot into a three-legged dog so that we can come down for our chaturanga, and we're going to lower all the way to the floor this time. Now make sure that your hands are stacked right below your shoulders. We're going to press up, lift the gaze into a baby cobra. Exhale, lower back down fully to the ground. As we inhale again, baby cobra. This time your head turns and gazes over the right shoulder. Exhale, and one more baby cobra here. This time your head turns to gaze over the left shoulder. This really helps stretch out the neck, really gently. Lowering back down to the ground, we're going to use our strength here to lift up into plank, through the toes, through the arms, and push back into a downward facing dog. Together, we'll take another three-legged dog by lifting the right leg to the sky and bring it forward into a high lunge. Finding your ground and lifting your arms up to inhale. As you exhale, bring the hands to a cactus position, bending them into a 90-degree angle and opening the heart. As you inhale, arms come back up, and as you exhale, fold over into sort of a plane position. Inhale, arms come up again, and we're going to twist to the right side of our mat, just finding a high lunge twist, gazing towards your back hand. We're going to drop that right arm down to the left hamstring, just for a slight back bend here in our twist, before cartwheeling the hands back down to the mat and finding pyramid pose. So straightening out the front leg, and bringing the back leg in if you need to. Inhale to find length, and exhale, fold over the right leg. Again, making sure that the hips are straight here, so we're pushing the left hip forward and the right hip back. You can have a slight bend through the knees if that's comfortable for you. We're going to come up into Warrior 2, so spinning the back toes so that they're parallel with the back of the mat, making sure our abs are still turned on here and our hips aren't sinking backwards. On an inhale, we're going to lean forward, flip the front palm, and go back to Reverse Warrior. Your left hand can rest on the left hamstring, right arm coming over the top, bicep to ear. You can also choose to find a bind here by wrapping your left arm around your back. Coming back now into Warrior 2, we're going to lean forward into extended side angle, so resting the right elbow on the right knee, left bicep comes to left ear. You can also, again, choose to find a bind by wrapping your arms around your leg and to join at the back. Hold here and make sure you're pressing down weight in both feet. Before you come back up and straighten up the front leg for Trikonasana, triangle pose. So bringing your right hand to your right shin or to the mat if that's comfortable for you, gazing upwards at the top palm. Coming back up and going right back down, this time into reverse triangle. Left hand goes to left shin or the mat. Coming back up, we're going to twist our feet so that we're facing the long ways of our mat and bring our hands to our hips. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, hinge forward and bring your hands to the mat. Take a breath in here and come up to a halfway lift. And exhale, fold back over. You can shake the head yes and no to help relieve tension through the neck. When you're ready, bring your hands to your hips and lift yourself back up. Turn to face the front of the mat and step up with both feet, mountain pose. Breathe in to bring both palms above head to touch. Exhale, down. Breathe in, palms touch above the head. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back to plank. Take a Vinyasa here. We'll meet up in downward facing dog. Once you're in down dog, you're going to lift your left leg to three-legged dog this time, a straight line from your feet all the way to your hands, before bringing it forwards into a high lunge. Breathing in, arms rise above the head, and as we exhale, finding a cactus position with the arms. Breathing in here, and folding forward into our plane position. Inhale, bring the arms back up, and this time as you exhale, twist to the left and have the arms in a horizontal line. You can drop the left palm to the back of the right knee, finding a reverse high lunge twist. Bring yourself back up, hands come to the mat, and step up into pyramid pose, shuffling the back feet forward. Inhale to find length through the back, and exhale, fold over the left leg. Again, keeping the hips nice and straight here. Left hip pushes back while the right pushes forward. On your next inhale, coming up to Warrior 2, gazing forward. Weight is even between the toes. On another inhale, flip the front palm and come back to reverse warrior. You can let the palm rest on the shin or choose to find a bind here. Coming back up into warrior 2 and down to the front, extended side angle. Right bicep to right ear, left elbow on left knee. Or again, finding a bind wrapping around to your back. As you come back up, straighten out the left leg and fold down into triangle, Trikonasana. Gaze is up at the top hand, if that's comfortable for you. You should feel a nice stretch through the side ribs here. Inhaling back up, and simply folding back into reverse triangle. Again, inhaling back up, this time twisting the feet so that we're facing the sideways of the mat. Inhaling, palms touch above the head, and exhaling into goddess pose, so bending both legs and bringing the arms into a cactus position. Finding Gyan Mudra with the fingers, so pointer finger comes to touch the thumb. We inhale into star position, and exhale once more into goddess. Inhale, find star position. This time exhale, forward fold, hands come to the mat, neck is heavy. Inhaling back up here, we're going to bring the arms into a fist behind the back and pull them down towards the mat for a heart opening stretch. When you're ready, fold forward and let the arms dangle above the head. Release the hands here and twist to face the front of the mat, stepping up into mountain pose. We're going to inhale, palms touch above the head, and as you exhale, sink the knees down into chair pose, Utkatasana. Take another inhale here, palms touch above the head. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to twist to the right here first, so left elbow comes to the right knee as we gaze to the back of the mat. You can also choose to take your hands out of prayer position and put them out into a straight line. Whatever you chose, coming back into that prayer position, lifting up straight and simply twisting to the other side. Again, finding whatever variation works for you with the arms. Bring your hands back into prayer position, turn forward, and we're going to sink our hips right down to sit on the mat. We're going to come into butterfly position here, so really getting a nice hip stretch in the hip flexors. So bring the soles of the feet together, and you can place your elbows on the little cracks in your knees. Press forward to help open up your hips. If you're ready, take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring the palms to the mat, folding right over your legs. Again, stay wherever is comfortable for you. Try not to arch your back too much either. You can roll the forehead around gently on the mat here to relieve tension in the temples. Gently start to push yourself back up and bring your knees together, pushing your legs out into a straight seated position so legs are parallel in front of you. We're going to cross our right leg over our left knee here. Take an inhale, bringing the left arm up, and as we exhale, again finding Gyan Mudra as the left elbow rests on the right knee, gazing towards the back of the mat. you should be feeling a nice twist through the right hip flexors here. Unfolding the leg and bringing your left leg to cross over the right knee. Inhale, right arm comes up. Exhale, find Gyan Mudra and gaze towards the back of the mat on the left side. Uncross your legs and take an inhale here. As you exhale, fold over your legs and bring your palms to rest wherever is comfortable, whether that be your thighs, knees, shins, or toes. You can even just let them rest on the mat. Make sure that the head and neck are heavy so that we're at least feeling this stretch through our back and helping it travel down to our hamstrings. Slowly coming back up, and we're going to come back into a tabletop position here, making sure the joints are stacked. When you're ready, press back into your toes and lift the hips up for downward facing dog. On an inhale, we're going to bring our right leg back up into three-legged dog. As you exhale, fold from the knee and give the ankle a few rolls, getting a nice hip opener stretch here. On your next inhale, straighten the leg back out and come forward into high plank on one leg, chaturanga, and then down to the floor. We're going to come into a half locust pose variation here, so bring the palms to touch behind the back, and as you inhale, lift up so that the chest and head comes off the mat. Exhale, head comes back down to the floor. Inhaling again, this time into a full locust pose, so legs lift off the ground as well as the arms and chest. Exhale the body back down to the mat, and if you choose to, you can lift the knees up here to come into a bow pose, so holding either from the inside or the outside of the ankles, whichever feels most comfortable for you, and on an inhale, lift up from the shoulders, kicking the feet into the hands, and bringing the head and chest off the mat. Lowering yourself back down the way you came, unfold the legs. We're going to press ourselves back here into a child pose position and lift the hips for downward facing dog. This time, the left leg rises up into three-legged dog and folds over for a hip opener. Roll the ankles one way and another way before bringing the legs straight back up and coming through chaturanga to the floor. Lift the head up for cobra before pushing yourself back into child's pose. We're going to come into a more restorative variation here, so just allowing the arms to rest alongside the body. Take time to find your breath here and bring yourself back to a space of calm. Slowly lifting yourself back from your knees, we're going to come up to stand on our knees here for a last heart opening stretch. Half camel and then optionally full camel. So bring the hips to rest on the lower back for support in the spine. Fingers can face towards the feet or out sideways with the wrists in the middle. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, push the hips forward slightly and allow the head and neck to rest backwards, gazing up at the sky if you feel comfortable. Slowly lift yourself back up, and this time we're going to come into full camel pose. Staying where you are, just tuck the toes and take an inhale. As you exhale, push the hips forward again and come back into that same position. If you feel ready, allow the hands to drop back to the ankles or blocks if that's for you, and allow the head and neck to rest backwards, gazing towards the back of the mat. Hands come back to the low hips, lift yourself back up, and come to lie down fully on the back here. Rest for a moment here with your knees tucked in to allow the effects of that heart opener to settle in. You can roll around to massage out the low spine with your hands hugging your knees. When you're ready, find stillness and give your knees one big hug before letting the left one go out straight and holding the right. Press the right knee outwards to get a hip opening stretch. You can hold it down with your right hand and left hand if that's comfortable. Bring your right hand under your knee and slowly push it over to the left side to come into a twist. Head can rest, looking towards the right, and your right arm can come into a cactus-like position on the floor. Slowly bring yourself back up, hug both knees in, and this time release the right leg to be straight, hugging the left one in. We're going to press open our hips on the left leg, so pressing down the knee towards the mat. When you're ready, left hand comes underneath the left knee and push it over for a twist. Head is looking towards the left. As you bring the knee back up, bring your right leg to bend as well, giving the knees a few windshield wipers to help reset the spine. When you're ready, find stillness and allow your legs and arms to lay down long beside you, coming in to our final resting pose, Shavasana. Allow that calm feeling to settle down through your body, and I'll call you back when it's time. Begin to slowly bring small movements back into your body, helping wake yourself up. So wiggle the toes and the fingers. You can give the wrists or the ankles a circle in one direction and then the other. When you're ready, lift your arms up above your head for one final full body stretch. Imagine a light shining from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes. Slowly bring your hands to your knees and lift yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Keep the eyes closed or the gaze low and face the side of your mat. We're going to bring our left palm to rest on our heart space and right palm on the lower belly. Just taking a few more deep breaths. When you're ready, we're going to take one final cleansing breath. So exhaling where you are and taking a deep inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Slowly bring your palms to heart center and find gratitude for all that you do for yourself. Find gratitude for coming onto the mat to practice today. And if you stayed with me through this whole practice, I really appreciate it and I'm so grateful. You're amazing and strong. Together, we'll lift our hands to the third eye, the space between the eyebrows, and bow our heads. Namaste. Thank you again so much if you chose to join me on the mat today. I really do appreciate it. And don't forget to leave me a comment or like this video and tell me what you thought of it. I'd love to come back and do some more. I hope you have the most wonderful rest of your day, and remember to keep smiling, stay strong, and I'll see you soon.